came to me. Now I've quoted what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has said. So I'm going to take my pointer, and I also have a marker board here, so that may Allah guide me to present this next portion of my presentation in a way that you will have understanding. We're now going to focus on this diagram. At the top, a wheel within a wheel. So with my previous explanation, you can now connect to Ezekiel, the messenger's words, and the minister's vision. It says the Supreme Wisdom Lessons, diagram 1. This is the way we start. In the center of this wheel of color, representing the 7 colors of the rainbow, and the 7 colors of the rainbow are mentioned as a bow that was seen above the sapphire throne in Ezekiel in 26. And there was also the bow that comes after the rain, so it's like the rainbow. So we know the refraction of light through a prism will give us these 7 colors of the rainbow. Now the center represents the universe. And recall that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad stated in the book, Message to the Black Man, that the creation of this wheel was made like a universe in a universe, and it's constantly pulling up things into our view. So we have the flag of Islam, which is the universal flag. We have the crescent moon in its first quarter. We have the 5-pointed star against a red sun background. Now, if you look closely at this flag, you will see that the star has 5 points, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that that represents our 5 senses. Now I'm going to take us a little bit deeper into what I think we can understand from this. These 2 points dissect the circle so that we count 5, 6, 7. 7 points in this center of the sun. Now around this are 7 colors of the rainbow radiating out. Now before I go on to the explanation of what those 7 colors represent, look down here. 6 sets of lessons equals 154 questions and answers, divided by 7 equals 22/7 formula for pi. Now you know if you multiply 22 by 7, you can come back to the whole figure of 154. So the perfection of the zero, or the perfection of the move into a full circle, is only arrived then if we use a fraction and not if we use a decimal. Okay? So the 53 is incomplete without adding the God himself. So he is like the one in front and guiding. So this supreme wisdom comes like that to us. It is a circle within a circle of the sphere of his wisdom. He initiated himself in the beginning. And how did he do that? And this is where I wish for your attention to see if you understand this. Where did pi originate from? As you know, the universe is the spirals, circles upon circles, the universe within universe, spheres within spheres, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad pointed out. God began in the making of himself in darkness, a light of himself. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad pointed out in the Theology of Time that he first had to draw a diameter of himself. Then after he drew the diameter, then he made a sphere or a circle to encompass that which his brains conceived within that circle of knowledge that he himself was creating. Now, he said nothing can come into existence unless it comes out of that circle or body of wisdom of the God's first creation of himself. So therefore I use this sphere, this circle, and it will enlarge in the next diagrams, and more material will be added to the colors of the rainbow that you see here. So if pi itself originates with God, then pi is the perfect mathematical equation to prove that our lessons that were designed and given to us by God is the continuation of wisdom, of worlds out of worlds, of a new world of thought into the building of a new kingdom based upon the principles of mathematics, so that mathematics is Islam, Islam is mathematics, it is eternal, it is infinite, it goes on and on and on. And the scientists could not see an end to his wisdom. They all had to fall down, the 24 scientists, because they could not see an end to the great wisdom of Master Farad Muhammad. Now, another example I'm going to give you here is that this color wheel is the main diagram that opens up to the rest that will be shared with you perhaps in another tape. If the 5-pointed star represents our senses, we also can derive our Islamic studies. How is that? We have 5 pillars of Islam. We have the 5 theoretical beliefs and the 5 practices of Islam. We have our 5 daily prayers, to which we add, if you take these 2 points, 2 more prayers, which really brings the number to 7. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that when you rise in the night, you should recite another prayer, or even another prayer in the nighttime, added to your 5 daily prayers. That would bring the number to 7. Another very fascinating thing is that we can find the flag of Islam, in the Bismillah, the opening Bismillah and the Bismillah statement over 113 surahs. And one would say, how do you do that? Well, I'm going to go to the chalkboard. When we say Bismillah, Bismillah, okay, not too good, but Bismillah equals 7 letters. Okay, then in the next part of the statement, it's Rahman equals 6 letters. And Rahim equals 6 letters. Okay, that is the opening Bismillah in Al-Fatiha, and it's over all of the surahs, as we know, except Surah 9. What do you see as you look at these numbers? Do you see any relativity to the histories that we are taught about the sun, the moon, and its separation from the earth? All right. It is this way. 7, 6. All right. 76 trillion, 76T, 76 trillion years ago, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that the sun came into its present existence in our solar system. So we have 76 trillion years ago for the sun. And then I'm surrounding 66. Okay, we know what happened 66 trillion years ago. That was the moon explosion. Now we can do something more with these numbers because we have its relevance to the earth, the planet. And by the way, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad answers the question in lesson number 1, question and answer 9, which 1 and 9 is a 19 again. But if you put that together, he says that the sun, the moon, and the star are planets. That's the original form that they are coming out of planets. And now we can see, because the moon was once a part of the earth. Now, how do we get earth out of this? Take these 2 numbers, 6, 6. 6 plus 6 equals 12. The moon dropped or went up 12,000 miles high. If we multiply 6 times 6, we get 36. And 36 was the amount dropped of the Earth when she separated from the moon 36,000 miles. So in the Bismillah, and this is the beauty of the methodology that we were taught, you can take letters, numbers, words, you can combine them in all kinds of ways, and you will get a deep root underlying teaching other than what you're seeing on the surface. So you can go as deep, deep, deep as you can go. Mathematics is the key. It's interesting, I just happened to see this. If 6 and 8 and 3 and 4, 48, okay, that represents something else, but in application to what we've been studying about a wheel and a wheel, we pointed out that Ezekiel makes up 48 chapters, which goes into the make of this wheel that has never been made before, and God then is identified as being seen in the clouds, and that the hearts of people will be, perplexed, and all kinds of disasters will befall the planet when they look up and see the Son of Man coming down from the heavens. Now, going back, I wanted to show you. So we have the flag of Islam, number per number, sun, moon, and the earth, and its declination to 36,000 miles out of its original pocket. Now we will go back. I'll leave that there for a moment. Now let us go back here. Out of the sphere or circle, in the circle, our national flag, the universe, Islamic studies base can come out of this, the Holy Quran's mathematical code of 19. What I did was take the 7 colors of the rainbow and make in each one of these quadrants, entering into the circle sphere here, and you will put in, it's not marked here, 22 sections of the lesson. So that every day, and this is the reading program that I will recommend, it's very easy, 22 and color tab each day. You can choose the colors that you wish to represent, but each day choose a color tab. And in that period of time, every member of the family will read 22 parts of the lessons. You just read it. 22 from student enrollment, and then you'll go over and you'll hit 22 somewhere in the actual facts. And then you go down from actual facts, you will count another 22, and that will take you into lesson number 1. Then the next sequential lesson is lesson number 2, then the 34 problems, and English lesson number C1. When you separate and find the 22, 7 times in the lessons, you will read in 1 week 22 parts of the lesson per day until you just read them through once a week. You can repeat that. Pretty soon you will have memorized by heart without too much difficulty, and you just read them. You don't have to stop and just keep reciting it over and over. It all depends on you, but at least minimal requirement is to read 22 parts of the lesson each day, and each day will correspond to a different color. Now in the 13 instructions, to get familiar with them and read, you would expand your 7 days reading assignment by reading 2 paragraphs of the 13 instructions per day. As you read these 2 on Sunday, or the last day, it will be 1, which is the 13th paragraph. Now I will erase this. I think I have just about completed the explanation here that I wanted to, except I'm going to say that is amazing. There is a book called The Temple in Man. Some of you, may have access to it, but in that book, it tells you through a scholar, Leibniz from France, who studied many, many years at the Temple of Luxor. And remember, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, study the monuments in Egypt. Well, he made a very lengthy study of the Luxor temple and the reliefs of the way that the pharaohs were etched and carved, into the temple walls. And it was exactly the ancient Egyptians who utilized these two principal formulas that I pointed out today, the number 19 and 22/7 as a fraction. And they did what you call quadratures. And in these quadratures, they measured the pharaoh's head all the way down to his feet. And they utilized either or, 19 quadratures or the pi fraction of 22/7. So we'll talk more on that later. But what I wanted to put up on the board now goes back to the beginning of the August 23rd and the presentation made by the chairperson, Dr. Abdul Alim. And what he put on the screen was fascinating. It kept flashing. Whoops, are we going to see this? Okay. Atonement. Okay, atonement and then commission. And by using this methodology, I kept looking, and I said, oh, wow. I said, atonement has 9 letters, and commission has 10 letters. And of course, adding them together, you have 19. And I said, my goodness, everything is absolutely coded. I mean, we can't get away from it. Whatever we do, there is a coded language that is embedded in the presentation itself. And in the word commission, if you break it up, it says, come to the mission. So we are being asked by God, through his representative, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, to come to the mission. What is the mission? It is the resurrection of our mentally dead people. To come to the mission, mission how? Through atonement, which is an A tone, which can be then mathematically and musically scaled. Because beneath all of this, we have diagrams that will show you that underlying the codes is a musical scale of sound. But atonement, to be at one with whom? With God first, and with yourself, and then with those around you. So now, look at what else you can do. This is with our children too. It makes it like games to play, but very interesting. Come, take your word up here, commitment. Interesting. So we want to come to the mission, to be committed to the service of Almighty God, Allah, through the working out of self, and then everything else will fall into place. Okay, so there's your 19. So the signature of God is on the commission now. Now the next and final part of my presentation today will go this way. He also put on the board in the very beginning, Dr. Alim,